Don't mistake progression for perfection. There are still holes in Montreal Canadiens defenseman Justin Barron's game, after all. That has been evident since he first drew into the lineup after Caden Goal got hurt a few games into the season. Having made the team out of training camp, Barron had to wait for what has seemed like the inevitable injury bug to take effect in the Canadiens' locker room. With Goal now back and David Savard now injured, for significantly longer, Barron has become a fixture in the lineup, for better and worse. For example, in the team's latest game, a 4-3 shootout victory over the Winnipeg Jets on October 29, Barron put one in on a mini breakaway to tie the game, just 37 seconds after Adam Lowry had opened the scoring. However, he also flipped the puck into the stands to take a potentially costly delay of game penalty late in the second period that bled into the final frame. It's arguably only happenstance that Joel Armia scored just after the penalty was ending to tie the game. Armia never scores. It was a pivotal point in the game. The Jets had a 3-1 lead at one point, and the Canadiens had pulled within one. Had the Jets scored on that man advantage, it realistically could have put the game out of reach, considering the Habs as a whole were getting badly outshot. Unfortunately, in his 5 games this season Barron has shown that same knack for taking inopportune penalties. What's worse is Barron was also indirectly responsible for the first goal against. That's obviously the bad. However, it's hard to dismiss the good. Before Barron got his first of 3 on the season against the Buffalo Sabres on October 23, no other Canadiens defenseman had scored in their 4 previous games. Now the team's defense has 5, 2 for Mike Matheson, in the 4 games since. Furthermore, before Barron got into the lineup the power play had scored a meager single goal in 11 opportunities, 9.1%. In the 5 games he's played, it's scored 6, 20 opportunities, 30%. Granted, Barron hasn't figured in on any of those goals, getting just 17 seconds of power play ice time per game this season. However, he has helped on the penalty kill in Savard's absence, contributing 1:14 per game short-handed. So it's somewhat apparent the team is moving away from more of a purely defensive mindset in terms of the players they deploy. That kind of fits in with what General Manager Kent Hughes mentioned as his mindset to construct the team when he first got hired, i.e., an offensive-minded hockey club in a perfect world. That doesn't necessarily render Savard obsolete. He's under contract until 2025, and after Edmundson got dealt this past offseason, it seems unlikely the Canadiens would also trade away their last true stay-at-home defenseman. However, with more all-around defensemen like Kovacevic and Goal poised to pick up the penalty-killing slack in Savard's absence, it opens the door for Barron to prove he belongs, while also working on the undeniable deficiencies in his game. Barron obviously had a bad training camp. However, the Canadiens keeping him up at the expense of someone like Gustav Lindstrom shows he still figures into their long-term plans, as if there was ever any doubt, based on the circumstances surrounding his arrival. Getting into the lineup was one step, albeit out of necessity due to injuries. Barron's realistically got a few months before Savard returns to prove he belongs. No one's expecting him to completely realize his potential in that time, just take further steps in his development. Again, it's a progression. The team's headed in that direction too. He just needs to do his part. At both ends of the ice. So fan, what did you think of this analysis? Do you believe in Justin Barron's potential, or is he not a good player? Share your opinion in the comments. Stay tuned because I'll be back at any moment with more news.